fishing lake, fishing, and a game warden coming up to him and asking him, "How many fish have you got? Let me count them and see if you've done your limit." I'm pretty sure that Jefferson might pull out a little gun and pop his butt. If not, he'd sure manhandle him a little bit, like, "I don't know where you come from, but you're not from America. Where are you from?" We know that these organizations didn't come into after the war, and it was because of the 14th Amendment. That's going to be a major subject, along with due process, that we're going to prove that the 14th Amendment never ratified, and we will prove that. That's not going to be an interpretation thing. We're going to show it in the books, in the congressional records. So this is also a future a video, and hopefully, let's say hopefully, God grants that we do that, because that's what we're after, is God-fearing men, not ISIS-fearing men and government-fearing people, but God-fearing. And we're going to also discuss the separation of church and state, how that the government in modern times have defrauded the people in believing that we have a separation of church and state, when I will actually show you in the future proof otherwise, that this was a Christian nation only. And we will prove that. It sounds vague because what you're hammered in is that First Amendment that says that Congress shall not establish a religion. And so we got to understand what that meant, though, and how that every state in the Union, which I do have an original copy of, a 1797 copy of all the state constitutions, and not one of them left out Christianity. All of them was labeled with, you had to be a Christian to be in office, you had to be a believer in Jesus Christ, etc. So we're going to go over this and find out just how much have you been defrauded in your generations, because this has been going on since the war. This is not something that come about during the Roosevelt days or some of these landmark times, because there's plenty of landmark times to put your hand on. But the landmark time that is probably the most prevailing is that Civil War, when the wrong side won that war. They won by power and guns. They did not win by righteousness and being right. They won, and that puts us back to our subject. These definitions had to be changed. Yeah, you beat the South up, Union. Union here, not Union here. You beat the South up. But was you right for doing it? And was the issues what you say they are? And if you're wrong, then should we follow you as wrong? And should we accept your new terms of government? If you overtook our old government, then I'm not allegiant to you. You know, you're not going to catch me with a pledge of allegiance or any kind of honor. You know, there's a problem with this. And if you don't know, then you're innocent. I'm telling you that. But now that you've seen this video, you should be putting this stuff together. You may not catch on at first. If you're like me, this took a lot of... I don't have the best brain in the world. It's up there and it does function. But I have to impact to get something in. And it takes me time. Now, there's probably a lot better people... Well, there is. A lot better people that could have took this same setup here and had a professional way of putting it, and did it in a more elegant way than myself. But you know what? I'm here, and that's what I've done. So I want to remind you before I go that you go over the video about these words and give it thought of whether you understand the new government here. New government. By the way, I want to point that out. Johnson and a lot of people made reference to the new government quite a bit. It's all documented. I have a certified copy of a telegram sent to General Canby. He was our bad guy running over South Carolina, telling us what we'll do after the war and during the Reconstruction Act. And I'm sort of happy for him that he went over to California, and he was so arrogant in his ways that he went into this Indian tribe with the stipulation told in advance: do not show up with a weapon. If you do, we kill you. If you got negotiations, you got two things: don't bring a gun, and it better be yes. Well, arrogant Canby goes in there with a gun, and of course, was the answer no. Well, he didn't come back out. All right, so the telegram that Canby received wanting to cease the Reconstruction Acts because what? The 14th Amendment ratified. Of course, that was a lie, but it's still the term was used, the inauguration of the new government was used in that telegram. And I have a certified copy. And so to close out, to let you know where we're going to be going in the future, we're going to be talking about states' rights, the power of the original government versus the powers and who's got them all now. And we're going to remind you that Madison, which I have a certified copy of that convention out of Virginia, the Virginia Convention, when Madison said himself that there is no higher court in the land than the state courts. Now that's an interesting statement considering we believe the Supreme Court is. So we're going to run that one over too. We're going to find out whether the Supreme Court ever got off the foot. We're going to go to the original statement in the clause, and we're just going to find out whether the Judiciary Act was a controlling factor of that court from the beginning. So I thank you for your time, and I appreciate any comments. And in one sense, I want a lot, but I'm not going to be able to answer them all. But if I can entertain them, and then there will be a time that we will set up maybe a phone calls where you would know a certain time to call a particular number, and we will take that kind of a video and put on the internet. Actually, I'm better off taking questions than I am trying to put together an agenda for a perfect lecture or something, because you can see this is far from perfect. But the facts is what I want you to sit on. Not me, not how I did it. The facts. Thank you.